All right, it's Thursday, March 20th. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up with kind of a very narrow inside day, slightly green. You could see all week long, these 4 days, I mean, almost nothing has happened. We're just consolidating in here after a little bit of a red hammer bar last week. We briefly touched the high of that week, and for 4 days we've just been sitting there tightly in a range. So you kind of have to know that context. It's tough to know, are we starting to reverse up here and head higher? It doesn't seem to look that way, and yet we're, after exhaustion risk to the downside, it's not as if we're heading lower, although you can almost sense that this kind of pullback is getting ready to roll over for another test of these lows. But until, that develops, then, you just have to kind of be a little uncertain in terms of the big picture, what to expect, but you can go day by day. So the inside day coming to the end of the week, with a weekly chart that doesn't look strongly green or red at the moment. Who knows what's really going to happen tomorrow, but at least you could kind of look for a failure on the upside. I mean, we could start up out of here and then not follow through, come back to the halfway point of that bar. That would be a good, I think, opportunity to anticipate lower prices to end the day and to end the week. And that would mean maybe you can get if something red happens tomorrow to end this week red, maybe you expect a 2-down week to test those lows, but we're going to find out. There could be an inside failure to the downside, but it doesn't look like that would lead to any strong move to the upside, given just the context of how down everything is here on the daily chart. So, but nevertheless, play it. If we get some kind of move inside of today that tries to break out one way or the other, just be careful that that a failure doesn't develop. So you want to see immediate follow through and strength. If I see a breakout here, I'm going to buy it, but I want to just let price action really follow through. Anything that looks like it's failing, I'm nimble about any trade inside of there trying to break out one way or the other. So that's all I could say about the context. I've been talking about it for a while. I'm still kind of anticipating these lows being tested. It's just a matter of how it's going to do it. In terms of today's price action, actually, it was kind of interesting in the sense that it really, if nothing else, you had the big green bar to start at the low end of the range from yesterday, and by the time it broke out on bar 2, you were kind of above the midpoint of that day. So you could have bought that, especially when I saw it take out this little pre-market pivot and not fail and continue higher, and it just went up pretty strongly for 4 or 5 bars right up to the pre-market highs and yesterday's highs, and obviously that's where it failed and didn't give you an orderly pullback and a secondary green bar to test those highs. You're in a range, so you just worked up to the top of the range, so at least you had there's a lot of volatility for nice gains in here, and to scale out or something out, and you would have at least done nothing worse than no break even if you thought you were going to hold on and it was going to break out of this area. So then it just didn't offer any opportunities, and there were some other stocks that did well. I traded Meta today to the upside, that had really nice gains early on, and that, like everything else, came all the way back. So that's why the uptrend is really not strong in terms of continuation. And yet we're not really, we're stuck inside of a range. So obviously, everything low is being bought and everything high is being sold at the moment, and it's tough trading. So even tomorrow, if you're between the pre-market, if you're inside of this bar starting out the day, it's tough to have strong expectations if you're going to trade. Sometimes it's better to just sit out and wait until something clear develops. But if nothing else, price action early on is still giving you good volatility. We're just going to have to see what develops here. So I'm ready to go either way tomorrow, and be pretty nimble about it. Ideally, I'd like to see a downside move because I think that's still with the bigger trend, but we'll see what happens. So just wanted to follow up. Inside day today, nothing easy about it in terms of, sustained follow through, but a pretty good opening trade here to the upside on the SPY and for a few other stocks out there.